Hello, I'm here today to talk about green business. Did you know over half of business in the United States have increased their commitment to renewable energies in response to report warning of worsening environmental crisis and the risk of environmental impacts? Today, companies are growing commitment to reduce their environmental impacts and becoming more aware of the environmental risks. They are assessing and disclosing risks, in addition to monitoring and reporting environmental risks. Nearly 50% of top U.S. business and 60% of global companies report that they are probably investing in strategies to reduce their environmental impacts, a 7% increase since 2012. Companies are responding to customers' demand of greener products and business models. It is called going green, and this is no longer seen as a fluffy concept. It's a significant element of companies' strategies to reduce environmental risks and opportunities. But what is sustainability? Sustainability is about meeting today's needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. It's about taking actions to protect or share our environment, air, water, lands, and ecosystems in ways that are economically viable, beneficial to humans' health and well-being, and socially just the long term. Businesses are still driving to manage their resources efficiently from an economic standpoint. They are also becoming more engaged in sustainable development. More companies than ever are now seeking to embrace renewable energies and lowering carbon emissions. Businesses are now upping in their game, as they identify a range of cost-cutting opportunities associated with transitioning to sustainable business model and becoming more aware of their environmental impacts and how to curb them. This is why sustainability is one of the most important concepts to understand, and one of the primary topics when we start talking about green business. Now let's talk about what is green business. What does green mean? Green is the color of the tree, the grass, the plants, many vegetables, and now is the term being used to describe those who are taking the environmental concerns for our planet to heart and trying to make a difference. Green is now the buzzword for focusing attention on sustainability and the preservation of the environment. It is a term being used universally to indicate that you have some understanding of global warming, the greenhouse effects, and how pollution to our land and our water is endangering our planet as we know it, along with the inhabitants. They are replenishing and respecting the planet rather than simply taking for it. It's a nutshell that is what it means to be green. For a business to be sustainable, there need to be conscious effort of the part of the owners to set up means of supporting the environmental system as they pertain to air, water, soil, agriculture, and forests, all of which play a part in the survival of humans and wildlife. Of course, to do the first step is to understand that the overall goal isn't just to plant trees, save water, or eat organic food, but to recognize that Earth's bounties are being used up to the rate that is dangerous for our next generations. The idea is that the life cycle goes from nature back to nature. In other words, what comes from the Earth is utilized in such a way to replenish itself. The concern today is that modern industrialized society is preventing the Earth's ability to function in sustainable manners, disrupting ecological support systems. Green businesses are cropping all over the country and around the world, while established businesses do their part to make the necessary changes and improvements to get in step with the times. It's important to know that green business, they are implementing practices that lead to cost savings. The Green Business Program focuses on the following areas: solid waste reduction and recycling, transportation alternative, water conservation, energy conservation, pollution preservation, and finally, general environmental policy and education. This is why most of the green businesses start working in the following programs, like use non-toxic cleaners. Business use safer environmental and biodegradable chemicals that they can use without having significant negative impact on the air. Another activity is conserve energy. Upgrading lighting and equipment to save energy is very important for businesses. Commute sustainable. This program talk about promote and incentive alternative transportation for employees. We continue with prevent pollution, eliminate and properly dispose of harmful chemicals. Other companies are trying to avoid waste, eliminating unnecessary packing, printing, and purchasing more materials that are environmental friendly. Businesses are hiring local vendors. Working locally means less vehicles to use and lowering the carbon use for vehicles. Recycle materials. Divert waste from the landfill through the reuse, recycling, and composting is another way to save our planet. Now, we have been talking about a lot sustainability and green business. Now let's go talk about some of the examples of green business. In states like California, they count with the Californian Green Business Network, which is a network of local programs operated by the counties and cities through the California that management all the green business or business that wants to certify as a green business. The state of California is working with small to medium-sized businesses to create a vibrant green economy and making the community healthier and more reliable, with also conserving resources and saving money. Let's go talk about results in California. More than 4,000 Californian green businesses put together the net some huge environmental outcomes. Over 4,000 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions reduced, the equivalent of planting over 20,000 urban acres of trees a year for 10 years. 100,000 metric tons of waste diverted from the landfill, almost 50,000 garbage trucks worth of waste eliminated. 742 million gallons of water saved. Over 20,000 gallons of hazard waste eliminated. $18 million in utility bill saving. This is an example of California, and this is why we are working on it. A business continues to build upon their environmental target. A range of the new technology, service, and options will raise that will benefit both companies and their customers. The cost effectiveness of running a green business model is a win-win for the companies, as they are able to combat climate change and contain the edge over the competition. Being environmental friendly has become the last business trend, on top of having a sound business model. Companies embracing sustainable developing are benefiting everyone. Today, not only people are running a business, now they can make a difference at the same time that difference is sustainable.